All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be looking at a short poem by Wallace Stevens called The Snowman. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about poetry. This isn't just a poem. Think of it more like a dangerous piece of mental technology, an instruction manual for seeing the world in a way that might just break your mind.
So I want you to really sit with this question for a second. What if you could just switch it all off? Strip away every single feeling, joy, sadness, pity, anger, and just see what's left behind. This isn't just some random thought experiment. It's the challenge at the very heart of this poem. You see, the poem starts with this radical, almost impossible demand. To even begin to understand what's going on, you first have to achieve what Stevens calls a mind of winter.
Now, what's really interesting here is that these are the final two lines of the poem. This is the big climax. But we're putting it right up front, because every single word that comes before it is specifically designed to get you, the reader, to a place where you can finally understand this really strange and profound statement.
And it's so important to get this. The mind of winter is not some gentle metaphor for feeling a little chilly. No, it's a command. It's a call for a kind of mental amputation. The poem itself is like a scalpel, and it's designed to surgically remove our deep-seated habit of projecting all our human feelings onto the world around us.
So the big question is, how? How does a simple poem actually force this chilling transformation on you? How does it induce what the source material calls a hypothermia of the imagination? Let's see how this thing is built.
And this, right here, lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got our default setting, the human filter. Right? We hear the wind, and we automatically think, oh, it sounds so lonely. We see a bare tree, and we project our own sadness onto it. But on the right, that's the poem's demand, the winter mind. It sees only what's actually there. No misery. Just land, wind, place. The thing itself.
See, the structure of the poem is the machine that does the work. It's a deliberate process, this formal hypothermia. It's written as one single long sentence, which forces you to hold your mental breath, to slow down. It repeats words like wind and land over and over again, almost like a hypnotic chant, pulling your brain toward detachment, until you finally get there. You become nothing himself, a pure observer.
So, you've done it. You've gone through this mental freezing. Your human filter is offline. What is it that you're finally able to see?
This is the big payoff. You get to behold what Stevens calls the nothing that is. And you gotta understand, this isn't nihilism. It's not about the world being empty or meaningless. It's about seeing reality with a kind of absolute, unvarnished clarity, a state of fierce quiddity, where a frost-covered tree is just a frost-covered tree. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a kind of secular enlightenment.
But, and this is a huge but, this is where the poem turns. It goes from being an intellectual exercise to something much, much darker. Because achieving this ultimate clarity, this perfect objectivity, it comes with a terrifying and very human cost.
So let's just pause here for a second. After going through that whole mental amputation, after stripping away everything that makes you you, is the result truly a higher state of being? Is this really enlightenment?
The short answer? No. Not even close. It's annihilation. The state the poem guides you to isn't enlightenment. It's the total erasure of the self.
And just look at the fallout from maintaining this mind of winter. Empathy, that's the first thing to go. Your connections to other people, they freeze and shatter. All emotion, rage, pity, joy, it all just goes silent. You become capable of, well, anything, because in this state, nothing has any inherent value. It's the perfect alibi for a sociopath, isn't it? I'm not being cruel, I am simply seeing what is. And this is why this so-called clarity is really seen as a profound sickness. You know, the source material points out that critics have called this poem a depressive manifesto, and even, chillingly, the most elegant suicide note in American letters. So, this brings us to the poem's central paradox. Why are we so drawn to this deadly vision? And what on earth does it have to say about the world that we are living in right now?
I mean, just look around you. We are living in a hyper-interpretive age. Every single image on our social feeds is curated, it's filtered. Every event is buried under a mountain of commentary. We are drowning in the exact kind of projected, secondhand meaning that Stevens wanted to wipe away.
And that's why this poem feels so radical today. In an age of constant spin and emotional filtering, the poem's cold, simple demand to just see things as they are, it feels like an act of sabotage. Like the source says, Stevens' lines glitch the system.
But here it is, the final, brilliant irony. In trying to strip away all of our illusions, Stevens accidentally proved how desperately we need them. He showed us that we require what he called warm fictions, our stories, our emotions, our shared meanings, just to make the bare, cold reality of the world bearable.
And so we're left with this unsettling question. To survive, to stay human, what do we actually need more? The absolute cold truth of the snowman, or the warm fictions that protect us from it? The poem doesn't give you an answer, and maybe that's the most dangerous thing about it.